Hey, this is Walk and Talk 231. How's your joy bucket? Or another way to say it is, are you sad? So sadness or grief or joy or happiness. I'm talking about choosing better when your choices are wise. Joy follows. When your choices are foolish, sadness follows. This may sound like common sense, but this is wisdom from the Bible. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 1. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 1. A wise son makes a father glad. A foolish son is grief to his mother. In other words, wise son, glad father. Foolish son, sad mother. A couple of practical observations about joy and sadness or grief. Everything in life is connected. Don't be foolish. Don't be foolish because there are consequences to foolishness. When you act independent, you don't care about your choices. You don't care that your choices can affect other people. So Proverbs chapter 10, verse 1 is showing that life is connected. You have a son and a father, and a son and a mother. Whether or not you want to get sidetracked in this talk, whether you're adopted or not, my point simply is, notice that life is connected. When you make decisions, there are consequences. When you make choices, there are consequences. So if a mom or a dad can experience joy or sadness, so can you. Just as parents can experience a celebration or a disappointment because of a decision a son or a daughter has made, think with me, so can you. When you make good choices, you celebrate. When you make bad choices, you get discouraged, you get frustrated, you get disappointed. I'm just simply suggesting in this Walk and Talk 231 on October 31, I'm suggesting that life is connected relationally, and your choices are connected to your emotions. So when you make wise choices, you feel it. Other people feel it. When you make poor choices or foolish choices, you feel it. And other people feel it. So life is connected in many different ways. There are consequences to our choices. I'm encouraging you in this Walk and Talk to stay alert. Choose better. Choosing wisdom versus foolishness is good for you. It's good for the people around you. Choosing foolishness is not only unhealthy for you, but it's unhealthy for others. Choosing foolishness is not the way God intended life to be. God gave you the freedom to choose between good, better, best, or good versus bad or good versus evil, I'm encouraging you to choose better. Let me give you some practical observations. Number one, always remember, choices have consequences. Always remember, choices impact your life. Choices have consequences. Choices have an impact. They will impact other lives. As you live your life, remember, everything is connected. There is a connection that God has created. Whether that's in relationship, there's a connection in decision making and consequences. Count your decisions. In other words, evaluate your decisions. When you're making decisions, there are consequences. A wise son makes a father glad. A foolish son is a grief to his mother. Life is connected. Let me give you a practical understanding about life. Simple, practical suggestion. You are not isolated, even though at times you may feel lonely. God has so created life. There are many connections, and I'm just simply asking you to consider the choices you make. Make better choices. How do you do that? Evaluate before you choose. Evaluate. If I make choice A, what's the consequences? If I make choice B, what's the consequences? If your skills at evaluating are low, if you just don't know how to think 360, ask for advice. Let me give you a simple suggestion. Before you buy a car, why not do some homework? Why not do some research? You can use Google and get a ton of advice on a car that you're interested in to see whether or not it's a good investment or a poor investment. You can get advice from friends. Make sure your friends are wise. In other words, do they invest wisely? Many of us go through life and we don't do our homework. We react. I'm encouraging you that before you make your selection, before you make a decision, do a little bit of homework. Ask around. Someone once said, kick the tires on the car. Walk around the car. Look inside. Ask questions of the owner. Do a little bit of research on that car. You can type in that year of that car and the model of that car in one of the search engines on your computer, and it'll pop up. And matter of fact, you can even ask a question and you're going to pop up with some feedback. Do some research. Ask some friends that are wise. Walk around that car. Check it out. Evaluate. Can I give you a practical suggestion? Go slower. It's quite possible that your discouragement or your sadness or your frustration in life is because you're going too fast. You're not taking the time to research. Slow it down. A wise son makes a father glad. In order for you to be wise, you have to go slow enough to do the research. Now, you're going to make decisions after you make your research, after you've done your homework. Some of those decisions will be good. Some of them will be not so good. That's okay. Everybody comes to different conclusions in one way or another. And your choices may be helpful long term, or they may not be. But you're going to learn from that experience. Let me give you a practical. Your choosing better today is like a building block. You keep getting a little bit wiser. A little bit wiser. I was having a conversation yesterday with a man who said he wanted to be used by God like Moses, like Daniel, like Joshua. He wanted his life to count. He wanted his life to be meaningful. And I just simply said to him, keep making good choices. I'm encouraging you as you live your life, be wise, choose better. Emotionally, joy is experienced when you choose better for people around you, like your parents, or for your friends. When you choose poor, when you choose bad, grief is what Proverbs chapter 10 verse 1 is saying. A wise son makes a father glad. A foolish son is a grief to his mother. Remember, life is connected in many different ways. You're not isolated on an island. You may feel at times alone. You may feel at times life is unfair. Can I just encourage you? Just set that idea about fair and unfair, set it aside. If you will make better choices, you're going to discover life is fair. You're going to be less bitter. You're going to be wiser. You're going to make better decisions. Life will slowly improve. If you make poor decisions, typically poor decisions lead to more poor decisions. And then you start multiplying poor decisions, poor consequences, poor outcomes, poor results. I'm encouraging you in this walk and talk, choose better, because joy and grief are real. If you've ever sat down and thought about your discouragement or your resentment or your bitterness, it all comes from poor choices made by you or by somebody else. You can't undo a poor choice. Once that poor, unhealthy choice is made, there are consequences. Life is connected. Maybe somebody else made the poor choice. Maybe you made the poor choice. I'm encouraging you to recognize you can improve your life. The joy can go up. The sadness or the disappointment can go down when you choose better. Let me give you a practical idea. When evaluating, I said earlier, go slower. When evaluating, always ask the why question. So whenever you're looking to make a decision, keep asking why. Just ask why. When an answer is given, ask why was that answer given? What's the reasons behind the answer? Practical way to look at this. If you're looking at buying a car and someone wants to sell you the car and the car looks like it's in good condition, just simply ask the question, how often do you change the oil in the car? And they may say, as needed. We'll just simply ask, why? Why do you change the oil as needed? A lot of people quit thinking. You change the oil regularly because that's the way the engine was designed. When you ask the question, why, you may discover that the owner really doesn't understand. That may give you insight that they really did not pay attention to changing the oil in the car. I remember as a teenager, I just kept adding oil to the engine and never changed the oil. Never changed the filter, never properly cared for the car. And eventually the car engine seized up because just adding oil is not the way you take care of it. Ask why, ask how, ask the question, when did you change the oil? Do you have paperwork? Do you have documents? A lot of people don't have documents, but can you pull the dipstick out and check the oil to see if the oil is dirty or clean? In this walk and talk, I'm just encouraging you that a wise son makes a father glad, but a foolish son is a grief to his mother. Proverbs 10:1. So wise son, glad father. Foolish son, sad mother. Life is connected. You can increase your joy. You can increase the joy of your parents, people around you, when you make better decisions. Choose better. I'm going to encourage you to choose God. I'm encouraging you to choose the Bible. Join us for worship this coming Sunday at 9:30 and 11 o'clock at First Baptist Church, Tempe, Arizona, 4525 South McClintock. We're on US 60 and McClintock, southeast corner. We've got Bible classes throughout the morning, on Sunday mornings and throughout the week, and would love for you to be a part of our church family. This is Walk and Talk 231. It's October 31. I'm encouraging you to go slower and choose better, because life is connected and God intended for you to experience joy. God would prefer that you not experience grief or sadness, but that's a part of life. We make decisions and there are consequences that we make decisions that people don't like. Make better decisions. Do your research. Get advice. Ask the why question. It's about 6:50 in the morning. It's just a beautiful morning down in the 50s. Just a wonderful to be out walking. I hope today you get to make lots of great choices, better choices, and you experience the joy, not sadness, and that's passed on to people around you, like your parents, your friends. Have a great one.